Join us today as we share why it is important to remember your baby, as well as share with you 5 unique ways to participate in honoring your child. Will you be lighting a candle in memory of your child gone too soon on Sunday, December 13th? The annual worldwide candle lighting service is a special time to honor a child of any age that has died. Let's get started.
Hi, we are Jeff and Tony Brabeck, the founders of Our Little Sparrows. We are on a personal mission to break the silence of talking about pregnancy and infant loss in our world today. Please know that you are not alone. You are loved, and your baby will always be cherished. To find out more about us and our organization, please check out our links in the description below.
All right, so today Tony and I are talking about the worldwide candle lighting service. And we wanted to give you some specific information, some background about the worldwide service as well. So to begin with, the worldwide candle lighting service is meant to light a candle in memory of a child who has died, a child of any age, in fact. So it can be a pregnancy loss to an adult child. Annually on the second Sunday of every December, and this year it is December 13th, this coming Sunday, at 7 p.m., your local time, it creates a wave of light. So it is similar to the wave of light ceremony that happens, candle lighting ceremony, I should say, that happens back in October, and that's also annually. So it's the same concept. Wherever you're at in the world, you light a candle in memory of your child of any age that has passed away, and that will create that wave of light throughout the world, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Now, this organization, or I should say this event, has actually been organized by a specific group. And the group that founded the worldwide candle lighting service is Compassionate Friends. And they've been around since, the inception. I don't remember the inception.
Right.
But back in 1997, they created this special event for every December. It's a small online observance. It's grown to become this huge, large thing from when it started in 97. So essentially, if you would like, you can officially register on their website, or you can just do this privately, knowing that it happens at 7 p.m. your time. Yeah. But I think there's something there's some added experience if you actually go online and register. Also, they recognize each child that's been entered into the event for this year. So they do a special service. I don't know where that takes place, though, if it's on their website or on Facebook.
I actually don't know.
Yeah. So the Compassionate Friends is a really neat network. It's nationwide. There's independent or not independent, but there are chapters that are connected to Compassionate Friends. So they support families after a child has died of any age. It started in the United Kingdom, and then it branched out to the U.S., and their reach is international now. So it's Compassionate Friends International. And they offer monthly support meetings local, which is really neat. So you can have that in-person support group. Yeah. Yeah. So the reason why this is important to remember our babies on an annual basis, really every day, is so that we can grieve together as a community during these events. So October for
Pregnancy and infant loss.
Right, but the candle lighting, Wave of Light. So October for Wave of Light, and December for worldwide candle lighting. So it's important that it gives us a chance as a community to come together as a community and celebrate the lives of our children that matter to us. It's also an act of mourning. It's very important for our humanity to be able to outwardly express what we're thinking and feeling inside, and it's very healthy to do that. And it gives us the chance to take the time to probably step away from our day-to-day and specifically honor that child. I mean, that memory is always going to be with us, no matter what we're doing throughout our day. But we can also get so busy in our lives that we can go days, we can go weeks without actually, thinking of that child or entering our mind. So it gives us an opportunity to really focus and spend that time thinking about our child.
Yes.
So we do have question of the day. I know we haven't done this in the past, but question of the day: are you planning on participating in this year's worldwide candle lighting event or a service? If you are, put it in the comments below and let us know how you're going to represent your child. I know it's as simple as lighting a candle, but there's some other opportunities that we're going to get to. We have those 5 specific ways to participate, and that includes lighting the candle, but there are some other things you can do in addition to that. So put that in the comments below. If you have questions or other comments, feel free to put those in the comments below as well.
Well, great. For this week's Spotlight, we are going to spotlight Amie Land's book, Navigating the Unknown. It's an immediate guide when experiencing the loss of your baby. Now, this is a really great resource. It's literally a handbook for parents whose baby has just died, whether it be through stillbirth or maybe you've been diagnosed with a life-limiting or fatal diagnosis of your baby. This is really helpful for families who are going through this traumatic experience. It's also really helpful for people who are looking to support those families who don't really know yet how to support them or what they can do to offer help. This is really good for the support people. And it's also really insightful for medical professionals. So hospitals, doctors, nurses, midwives, doulas, anybody that's involved with labor and delivery, NICU, infant care. So this is a really great resource as well. It gives you real insight onto what the parents have to go through and the decisions that they're going to have to make. It provides guidance on making those unexpected decisions, how to inform family and friends. It talks about grief, just giving you tips and kind of general knowledge about how grief occurs and how you can cope with it. Tips on taking care of yourself and re-entering back into the world or the workforce. It also talks about remembering and memorializing your baby. So this is a really great resource all around. It's a practical guide on how to navigate the loss of your baby and more. So we know that this is well used in hospitals. We use this when we were sending out care packages to families of loss. And it's I wish we had this book when we had our loss. So this is such a good resource. We're going to put the link in the description below. So please check it out. We definitely feel that this is one of the books that you need to have. That we wish you didn't need to have it, but this is a great one to have if you are going through loss.
If you want to see all of Amie's books, she's an author of many books. It's very simple. It's amielandsauthor.com. So it's AMIE, lands, just like land owner. Lands
with an
plural
S.
with an S. So amielandsauthor.com.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to get into the actual 5 different ways that we can participate in the Worldwide Candle Lighting Service. I always want to say event. The Worldwide Candle Lighting Service, which I think it's neat because it almost, when they say service, it kind of reflects upon, like a funeral service or like a memorial service or a ceremony. And some of us got that. Some of us didn't get that for various reasons. Maybe we chose not to do a service for our baby, for our child. Maybe we couldn't for whatever reason. So I like the way that they framed this into a service. It's very private, very personal. But yet here we are celebrating as a community, right? So the 5 ways that you could participate beyond just lighting a candle. Well, the first one is to light the candle, right? So simply just taking a moment to pause. And like we said earlier, it gets us out of our day-to-day and we just specifically focus on that child or children. I know we've had multiple losses ourselves. So it gives you a chance to pause and reflect on the life and the memory of your children. And it's very personal in that way. So that's the first tip.
Yes. And the second tip is to say your child's name. And what we mean by that is we encourage you to share your story, share your baby's story with other people, whether that be in person, whoever it may be, someone that you feel safe with, or it can be in written word. It can be on your social media accounts. It can be a blog, Instagram, a vlog. However you want to share your story. There's tons of different platforms that we can use to share our story. And sometimes people, sometimes myself, find it less intimidating to share our story on, social media versus actually in person. So just share your story. And sometimes it's okay if you're not quite ready to do that yet. It can, if it's too soon or you're still, maybe it's too raw at the moment, that's okay. But when you do feel ready, we encourage you to share your story.
Right. I mean, in this day and age too, with COVID, I mean, Zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom,
Zoom.
FaceTime. If you can't get with family, be with family, but they want to join in part of it. And even Facebook has that watch party.
Yeah.
There's so many different flavors of
Yes.
connecting digitally. I know it's not the same as in person. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't do it, can't do it, but everyone's situation is different. So,
Of course.
yep. The third tip that we have is to create an opportunity for an act of kindness. So, simply as paying for someone's coffee ahead of you in the line, or behind you, sorry, hello, behind you in the line, donating supplies to a classroom. I know, again, with COVID, everything's different wherever you're at, but there's always some sort of need for schools and teachers particularly. And they still need supplies even though they're on a Zoom call, right?
Right.
So maybe for your child's classroom, donate toys to a local organization. That's another opportunity. And I know we've said in past episodes, if you're at a total loss of what you can do in your community, it doesn't have to be in the pregnancy and infant loss community, right? That's what we're saying.
Right.
Contact your local shelter, contact your local church. If you go to church, contact your church. Just ask them who's in need, or how can I contribute XYZ. A lot of people knit with COVID. They've learned new things to do at home.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Tip number 4, express appreciation for those who have made an impact on your child's life and therefore yours too. This could be a special nurse that you've had interactions with or organizations that have impacted you through your pregnancy loss journey. It's just a time to just recognize that it's hard work and it takes commitment and dedication for people to walk alongside some of the darkest and hardest times of your life.
Right.
And so it takes a special person to do that and to do that well. So if there's someone that has positively impacted you, take a moment, send a card, give them a call or text and just say, hey, we thought of you today and just wanted to say thank you for how you've impacted us. So.
Yeah. And you can't even imagine what these nurses are going through right now during COVID. So even if it didn't happen this year, 2020, if it happened years past, when you lost your baby, when you lost your child, we would still say, reach out to that nurse and say, man, you are vitally important to everyone that you touch. And the nurses, I think, would be at the top of our list for sure.
Yeah.
And then the fifth and final tip that we have for you guys is to simply just share an organization that's been a good resource to you or has supported you personally. And that's online or in person. I know for us, we have Sharing Parents of Sacramento, and we're blessed to have that local opportunity. There's Compassionate Friends in our area too. We just found a very specific nonprofit to pregnancy and infant loss, which was Sharing Parents for us. So we know not every community has that in-person support group, but maybe there's an online group that really supports you through your tough times, or there's individual moms like Instagram. Man, the last 7 months that we've been really focused on social media and seeing the community online. It's just amazing to see how many individual moms, and I'm sure dads too, there are dads groups out there, but especially moms that really are supporting other moms, and they're in the same boat. Like they're both hurting, they're both in pain, and there's a lot of raw emotion, but man, in sharing it with each other and sharing it in their threads, in their social media groups, they're supporting each other, even though they're both going through a lot of the same pain. So if you could share that person that supported you, share that organization that supported you, it's very important. It's also going to help spread the word.
Yes.
So the more that we get that out there, that there is support out online, and that it's not all negative, because we do hear a lot of negative, that there's a lot of good that comes from social media for our community. Yep.
Yes. And we feel it's important to share our baby stories and the people that have come alongside us. With that, we people.com just came out with an article about a number of celebrities that have come out over the last few years sharing their personal stories of pregnancy loss. And this just came out just shortly after Meghan Markle shared her personal story of loss that occurred in July of this year, 2020. And so this article highlighted, I think, 33 celebrities, just to name a few: Chrissy Teigen, Christina Perri, Sean Johnson, Carrie Underwood. And those are just a few. And
there was a female Olympiad, too.
Yeah, that's Sean Johnson.
Is that Sean Johnson? Yeah.
And
her and her husband, and he's a football player.
Yes.
Just so raw and so real. And I actually watched their YouTube where they shared it. It was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. Was their first pregnancy. And so I think she lost the baby early. It was, I think, around 6 weeks. Yeah. So they were pretty open about
extremely open from what I saw.
Their baby loss. And and they've kept talking about it. If you've followed their channel, they keep talking about it every now and then and how it's impacted them. And now they have a little girl. So, and even Carrie Underwood, she's shared about her losses as well. Now, the article I wrote on, I think this, I wrote down James Vanderbeek, and he did share about their loss, him and his wife's loss, while he was competing on Dancing with the Stars. But it's actually his wife, Kimberly, who was mentioned in the article, or who was highlighted in the article. Right. But I wanted to highlight the fathers, because the fathers, I think James Vanderbeek is maybe one of few that we've heard share their story. But it's just, it's good to see that more and more, and more fathers are starting to share. And I think we like to hear more of the fathers, because I think there's a lot of emphasis on the women. But so it's good to see that as well. So why is it a big deal that celebrities are sharing their story? Well, there's a number of things that's come to mind, and we've kind of said this already, but there is opportunities for healing when we share our stories, when we put to words our emotions and feelings, when we basically just kind of verbalize and express what happened to us, the feelings and the disappointment that we experienced when we lost our baby during pregnancy, or maybe it's early infancy. It's giving voice to our stories, and it brings a lot of healing. It brings feelings of empowerment, to be able to just express what is normally not talked about. Death of babies and infants is not a common topic. It's not a pleasant topic to talk about. So a lot of things, it's taboo. It brings it to the surface, and we're forced to kind of embrace it for a moment. And celebrities, they have a large following. They have influence with so many people that listen and follow them. And it brings more attention to the issue, to the dilemma of experiencing such a loss in such a private way. Right.
Just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they should put up or shut up.
Right.
They have they need to have their moment.
They need to
express
their grief as well.
Yep.
And they have a platform. They have and it's the way, if they can share, if you see celebrities that you admire sharing about personal stories about hardship, then it invites others and you as well to share your own story. And I think there's power in sharing our stories. It opens up the door.
No matter what walk of life,
Yeah, and it opens up the door for us to be more open and say it's okay to talk about the hard things. So that's why I think, when we see celebrities share, I think it's a good thing, because it encourages the rest of us who aren't so famous to keep sharing. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So if you guys are getting value out of this, I know we've shared a lot with you so far in this episode, and we are going to ask you, this channel is very unique to YouTube. YouTube is not, it's got a lot more people sharing their grief story because they already have a big channel and then they lost a baby, or there's just random people getting up there and sharing their grief stories. But there's not a lot of information. There's not a lot of education, and that's what we're trying to do here on Our Little Sparrows YouTube channel. And the best way that you guys can do to help support us, really, other than financially, is to subscribe to the channel. It's going to spread the channel's word out there. Ring the bell so that you guys can get alerts. So when we release our weekly content, you're going to see that we have a new episode. And when we do stuff in between and highlight special things and do live, that you guys are going to know that that's up and coming as well. And then giving thumbs up to certain episodes. So all that works together to the YouTube algorithm that helps share that we're out there and gets more people, more eyeballs to see us. So that would help out a lot. And comments and questions, we love them. We listen to you guys. We answer your comments or we comment with you and have conversations, and we definitely answer your questions. And then this is a self-funded channel, so it's patreon.com/Our Little Sparrows. As little as $5 a month. There's 3 different levels that you can contribute monthly, and that would help us just keep the cause going and just see where it takes us. It's really an unknown road that we're traveling, and we're excited about it, and we're trying new and different things to make it interesting and also educational at the same time.
So whether you choose to participate in worldwide candle lighting ceremony or not, lighting a candle, sharing your story, your child's name, doing an act of kindness, or expressing appreciation for someone who's impacted your life, or sharing about an organization that has had a positive or who has supported you positively in your pregnancy or loss. These are just a few ways to honor your child's life. However you choose to honor them, it will be special and it will be meaningful because your child is at the heart of what you choose to do. And remember, you are not alone. You are loved. Your baby will always be cherished.
And if you're watching us after the live and you are on the recorded episode, you can click or tap on the image above to watch another weekly podcast. We have, I think this is number 32. So we have 31 other weekly podcasts that you guys can check out. Or you can click or tap on the image below to go a little bit deeper. We do have the pregnancy journey, grieving from diagnosis to the loss of your baby and beyond. Thank you so much for joining us.